Here we are at the Range Report once again, and thank you guys for coming back out with us. And today we're going to be debuting the BRG9 Elite pistol from the Buffalo Cartridge Company. Now, a couple of weeks ago we were out in Grinnell, Iowa at the Brownells / Gun Collective GunCon 2022. And we had an opportunity to shoot a whole lot of guns. And one of the guns that we came across was the BRG9 Elite. Now, when I saw the gun, I kind of said, well, it kind of has a little Glock flavor to it, a little bit of XD flavor, a little Canic thrown in there for good measure, and I was right. I picked up the gun, I fired it, and I absolutely fell in love with this thing. The ergonomics on it, all the features on it, just the way the gun felt in the hand, how accurate it was, and also the fact that it's got an MSRP of around $400. I really couldn't say much better about that, but the one thing that struck me more than anything else above was the trigger. Now, on the channel, you've probably heard me rave about the Canic trigger, which I think, out of the box, is probably one of the best striker-fired triggers on the market, bar none. I mean, you really have to get up into some very pricey guns or switch it to a 1911 platform if you want to get a trigger that feels anything like that or is crisp and robust. Now we have our Canic that we bring out to the range and we shoot this, and we just did a video a few minutes ago of this one of our sight mark red dot. But this gun, when we picked this up, we had heard how great the trigger was, and when we got it to the range and we fired it, we were like, man, that thing is awesome, bar none. Now these run 575, 675, depending upon what you get in compact, full size, what features you're getting. And that's out of the box competition ready. Then we got a hold of the BRG9 Elite. Now, there's an unboxing video that you'll see the link for down below, so I'm not going to go through all the features on it again, but I can tell you if it has a feature, it's on this one. And the trigger on this thing, comparable, if not even a little better in some circumstances than that Canic trigger. Now, better, it's not necessarily more crisp, it's not necessarily lighter. Comfort. When you fire this, I can only speak for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but when I fire this gun, my entire finger is enveloped in the trigger. It feels like the trigger shoe was made to fit my hand. And when I fire the rounds off this thing and I feel that reset, is a certain amount of confidence that's immediately built up in the gun. Now, whether or not that confidence translates into accuracy, that's going to be a matter of training. But as far as having the gun doing what I want it to do, this thing is fit the bill. The only thing that I found so far that I'm not quite sold on is the grip texturing. It's a little slick. We here in North Carolina, it's 100 degrees, everybody's hands are sweating, so you tend to have to reposition your hand a little bit, so I think a little grip tape or a little bit of stippling on the sides might do better for that, but nothing wrong with it, but I would just like it a little bit more textury to it. So in the meantime, we got a target 21 feet back. We got a couple of magazines loaded up. These 16 round magazines, they include 2 of them in the kit, loaded up to 15 for each right now. I'm going to throw my ears on, throw some rounds down range, and see what happens. Now we have the target backlit so that you can see the rounds. It's not like shooting metal where you get to hear the ding every time I hit, well, not hit, but at least you'll be able to see where the rounds go. All right, now I tried to charge it by slamming the magazine home, and it did not charge. Matter of fact, I seem to have stovepiped that round in trying to charge it. So I'll just chalk that one up to operator error. I'm gonna go center mass. All right, that's 14 rounds in. Now that first round, I think when I slammed that home a little bit, I don't think I had the round seated that well in the lips of the magazine, so when I slammed it in there and it went to charge, I think I inadvertently created my own problem. I don't think that was a gun-related issue so much as the idiot behind the trigger. So we're going to run another 15 rounds. We're going to go for cranial area and see what we do. All right, see now that time, charged, no problem. All right, 15 in, all are in where I wanted them to be. My group is a little more opened up than I wanted. I kind of rushed through those shots a little bit. I just was kind of making sure that there were no function issues with the gun. Matter of fact, we'll bring that in, take a quick look at it. All right, you can see my first series of 14 was center mass. Most of the grouping is within about 2.5 inches with one flyer. The head, same thing, about a 4-inch group, no flyers, everything's right in there. It's getting the job done. Now the range is empty. There's nobody here except myself and my cousin Steve, so I can show you this and do a little up close and personal. All right, this is the gun. Now I wanted to show you what the rave is about as far as the trigger is concerned. Now, oh, sorry, I neglected to have the grip safety pulled. All right, so with that on, there's your take up, there's your wall. Watch the reset. Right there, audible, tactile. Now, from the look of it, you would say, well, it seems like it's at least 3/8, maybe 5/16 of an inch in reset. It's not a big deal. It's right. It's a little bit longer than the Canic reset is, but there's just something about that. It feels fantastic under your finger. The brake is. It's a rolling brake. It's not like a sharp wall. It rolls into a brake, and you know when you reset. You don't have to take your finger any further up. There's no additional slack you have to take. You can get follow-up shots nice and quick. Like I said, feature-loaded, fantastic shooting gun. Accuracy, well, accuracy is going to depend on the shooter. As far as the gun is concerned, if you can do it, the gun can do it. The gun can probably do better than you can. I know it's going to do better than me. But we're going to run another couple of magazines through it. I'm going to try and put as tight a group as I can in 10 rounds to see what I can do. And we'll check back in a minute. All right. We got 2 more magazines loaded with 10 rounds apiece, and all I want to try and do is put as tight a group together as I'm physically able to put together. Now, the sights on this thing has got 1 orange dot in the middle, 2 whites in the back, so we're going to see what it is. Now, it's low light situation here, but it should still give me no reason why I should be able to hit the target and put them nice and tight. I want to see what the gun is capable of. Well, in my hands anyway. So this isn't going to be rapid fire. I want to take my time. And looking at that, I can see it's about a 3-inch group. Now, because I can't really see the exact point of where I'm hitting, I'm going to flick the lights on, put another 10 rounds in another section of the target, and see if I can't get them to tighten up a little bit. And lights. All right. Lights are all up. We're going to put 10 more rounds through it. Now that target is really, really brightly lit back there, so you're probably not going to see it until I bring it in. So I'm just going to put another 10 rounds in it and see if I can't tighten this group up. All right, the gun didn't lock back on the last shot, so I'm just verifying that the round is expelled. Okay, now the gun is empty, gun is clear. Carry her home. All right, now, ten shots in low light conditions. My group is about, well, majority of the group is in and around 2.5 to 3 inches with one small flyer. In high light conditions, my group of 10 is around 3 inches overall, 2.5 with one flyer. That's out at the 3.5 inch mark. So, for accuracy's sake, the gun will do what you can do. If you can do better, the gun will do better. If you suck, well, that's what it's going to seem like. But right now, I got to say that the BRG9 Elite, aside from the fact that the round, the slide didn't lock open on that last round, and it may be because I'm using 115s and not something a little heavier, not a hiccup, not a problem. Now this is a short-term review. We're going to do a little bit of a long-term review with it and see whether or not this thing holds up to the promise. Now, $400 for this, $400. This is in the budget gun category, and like we said, if you look at our tabletop review, loaded with features. Loaded with features, and every one of them works. Could use a little bit of a better stippling. We're going to see it, maybe throw some grip tape on it and see if that's the answer. But everything else on the gun just operates perfect. So we're going to put this one back in the case, say goodnight to our targets, and we're going to go home. So until then, next time we see you guys, remember to hit like, hit subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Visit us at www.l1f.us, and we hope to hear back from you. We have a feeling that this gun is going to make a pretty decent impact on the U.S. firearms market. So if you see one, take one for a test drive. We think you'll like it.